Hi. In today's business quarantine economy, three words have cropped up. The words business continuity plan. What is actually BCP? BCP is a process of creating systems, prevention, and recovery to deal with potential threats to a company. In addition to prevention, the goal is to enable ongoing operations before and during execution of the recovery. Today is March 27, 2020. Good morning. I'm Eric Kaeg, PMA's Director for Education, and we are live at the Olearn.com virtual studio. Join me as we present to you the Philippine Marketing Association's second online forum entitled Technology as an Enabler of Business Continuity Plan. Joining me today are three distinguished gentlemen who are successful in their own business fields. First, we have Mr. Albert Budahim, the co-founder and CEO of Catapult Digital. Second, we have Mr. JC Martinez, the division head of Eastern Petroleum and Easy Gas. Mr. JC is also an advocate of the JCI Alabang and chairman for the AFFI Franchise and Business Expo. Finally, we have Mr. Jerry Ilaw. Mr. Jerry Ilaw is a CPA and had former corporate experiences like FMCG companies, uh, Procter and Gamble. He is a former president of AFI as well, and he is the founder of Lipreneur Community and Olearn.com, the digital platform provider that presents to you contents that matter. So here we are with our four speakers. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good
Morning.
morning.
How are
Good
you today?
morning, Sir Eric.
Morning,
So
everyone.
we're on day 13, and we are at the second PMA online forum. So I'll take no more time, and I'll ask you to present your presentation decks. But before that, before you present your decks, please introduce first your company. What does your company do, and how is it going towards the tide of this quarantine economy? Then you may go towards your presentation. We'll go now first to Sir Albert Budahim. Sir Albert?
Okay. Let me thank you, Sir Eric. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see the screen? Yep. So as requested by Sir Eric, I'm asked to share first my the company. And our company is Catapult Digital. Basically, we are a digital company, and what we do is we help companies leverage technology to do marketing and sell their businesses to their target customers. So that's what Catapult is. Now, in terms of the topic, technology as an enabler for business continuity, I'd like to take a step back and look into how technology actually has enabled people and people having and doing business. Therefore, technology enables business. We can go all the way back to the 1500s where ice was actually harvested, from the mountains, just like the movie Frozen, right? And back those days, we used simple machines to help and aid us people to be able to bring those ice in the mountains um, down to where people needs it. In the 1700s, when ice making was put into plants, and there were ice plants until the 1900s, where we have found a way to create our own ice. And if you look into the modern refrigerator today, at its very core is actually to make things cold so that we can preserve them longer, and of course to also make ice. Now, in today, during this quarantine period, of course, I think we're all coping up to staying at home. And thank God that our most of our televisions now are smart TVs, and we can watch Netflix and YouTube right off at the main television. On traditional side, we can also now enjoy high resolution in the comfort of our TV. Some would say at the cable quality because of TV Plus, no? And that's all thanks to technology. If we need banking now we don't need to go to the physical branch. We can actually do it on the internet and even at the comfort of our mobile phones, right? And technology also enabled us to easily find the next branch of our branch. No, and there's more examples of how technology are enabling us people, and some people actually made business out of it. So it's the likes of Grab, if you want delivery, Lazada, and even technologies like cars. Tesla. That's all thanks to technology. And where we are in right now is that there are a lot of things we can do today that is not possible 10 years or 20 years ago. Definitely not possible 20 years ago, right? When I was a child, I really like Iron Man as a hero. Being smart and making a lot of things possible thanks to the armors that has very smart onboarded computers, right? And that's the age we're in right now. This used to be impossible. This used to be a child's dream. And my dad would always say, like, oh, that's impossible. Just read your math books, not Iron Man comics. But nowadays, it's actually very much possible. Jarvis is an AI, and we know there's Siri. In mobile phones today, our mobile phones are actually already equipped with AIs. Internet of Things, where the mobile phone is connected to the laptop and the home can be run out of a mobile phone, right? Thanks to smart devices that switch on and off certain things or measure certain things. Blockchain is basically the logic of one is housed in multiple devices. And of course, the one that I'm really truly excited about making my own Iron Man suit is, of course, 3D printing, right? We can make our own suits someday, right? Right now, it's just the outer casing, but eventually, even us will have be able to access certain technologies that can allow us or allow me to make my own Iron Man suit, just like Iron Man. Okay. So I'd like to, I'm sharing this because I'd like you to, like also again, take a step back. My slides has always been, taking a bigger look into the entire landscape and say, hey, what are the things that is possible now that I used to think was impossible? Just like my dad used to think that Iron Man is impossible, but now it is possible, right? With computers being and able to house in like small gadgets. And technology for business continuity, what are the main things we need to look out into? There are a lot of technologies we can leverage and use for our business continuity, um, especially if we can no longer go outside. So my fellow speakers will highlight on the other things that also Mr. JC I know will took us into business continuity planning. But for me, I'd like to present some technologies, especially that we use in our company, as we have shifted to the cloud. Okay? Before, you really need an accountant, a CPA, to be able to know the status of your financials. But now I can know about our status of financials, our collections with a website, which is called QuickBooks.com. And here I can also monitor not just our financials, but also the activities of our employees. I can also easily contact them. I can see where they're spending their time, and also the clients that my employees and associates are investing the company's time in. And for all of that, for doing our banking, our bank tracking, our sales tracking, expense trackings, all the way to employee activity tracking, all of that just cost our company around about 750 pesos per month. Right? Think about it. How much do you pay an accounting assistant? At minimum, you'll be paying 15, 18, 20,000 per month. But this one, accurate, and it's connected already to our bank accounts, and it only costs us 750 pesos. So if you ask me, can I continue to manage our company moving forward remotely, if this quarantine period extends, absolutely yes, because I can see that our banks are okay, we have good cash flow, our sales are stable, and our expenses are controlled. And employees also, I know that activities of our employees are all towards contributing to achieving our annual goals. Um, Now, in terms of interacting with each other, we actually use the G Suites or the Google app for work. Here you can see that our Catapult email is actually on the Google Suite platform, right? So instead of having our own, we just leverage an existing working technology, and it only costs us 150 peso per month per employee, right? And if you look into the total salary of the employee, that's nothing. 150 peso is definitely affordable for a lot of us. So these are two technologies I'd like to share that our company is using, and that has enabled us to really cope up with this quarantine period. So again, our banks, our financials, top line, bottom line, well monitored every single day, anytime I want. And also any of my colleagues in Catapult Digital, we can easily talk to each other via chat. We can easily have an online meeting with the Hangout. Our outputs, I can easily check it on the Google Drive, and so on and so forth. I can even entertain inquiries using the Google My Business. Right? And all for 150 pesos per month per employee. Right? So again, these things were impossible before, but now it is possible. And I thank God that technology has made it possible for our company to continue generating value-adding work despite of being at home. So that's it for me. And again, in terms of the technology as an enabler for business continuity, technology has always enabled us, people, and that people, it's actually people who needs technology so that we can run our business. So I hope that it helped in terms of grounding and how technology should be seen. It's not a complex thing. You have to see it as a tool that we just have to learn how to use, right? A tool that can only help us. Yes, sometimes they're hard to learn at the very start, but once you can use how to harness a tool, then you can definitely do more things in your day, even if we are all asked to stay at home. So that's it for me, and I look forward to answering the questions later.
Thank you very much. That's Sir Albert Budehim, the CEO of Catapult. We'll get Sir Albert back later on. But for now, allow me to do a special out to our past officers and PMA and the current 2020 board of PMA headed by our president, Mr. Lucicho. Morning. At this point, allow me to call our second resource speaker, Mr. JC Martinez. Mr. JC.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I'm just going to so PowerPoint. Okay, share screen, application link. There you go. All right, so just a introduction. I'm from Easy Gas and Eastern Petroleum. Of course, Eastern Petroleum is more of a gas station, but the brand that we're really pushing for is Easy Gas, which is an explosion-proof LPG cylinder that really doesn't rust and doesn't explode. So the thing that I would like to talk about is that we have this dynamic business design for crisis management. We know that when I ask a lot of people when it comes to what is their BSP, there are two answers. They don't have one, or the second one is that they had it, but it's secretly in some cabinet, di nila mahanap, and it's very outdated. No? So how do we actually create? We assume already that in this state we're already confused. When we have these processes in our system that's suddenly disrupted, suddenly there's a lot of questions. Your staff are now relying on you on how to do things. They're no longer in the office, they're no longer in the warehouse, and so on. So what we could do is that, of course, we can never predict the challenges and disruptions in the future. But even if it's in another form, we could already create a system to solve it. So my focus really in our organization is really to focus on the problem solving to create your business continuity plan. So of course, this is not a one-man team. We hire people it's not just with their labor, but it's actually their intellectual contribution. Also, it's really to give them this problem-solving skill. Mahirap kasi if they're very robotic na, they're not going to help you when it comes to crisis, which we already observed that during a certain lockdown that we still have to operate, these people did not work. They just let it pass by na, ay sir, wala lockdown, wala kami magagawa. Apparently, we could give permits, etc. We could have exemptions to continue operating. No? So they didn't really think of the solution on how to continue the business. So we still have to engage all of our staff. Okay, so there's a lot of questions. Of course, we're locked down. We still need to operate as an LPG. No, so we first categorize what are the problems, what are the main problems. So we could focus more on the composition of the problem into bite size. No, so we have a problem. Of course, this would relate to most people. Is the accounting cannot operate because they can't go to work. All documents checks are in the head office, no, and the signatories are quarantined at home. Of course, our chairman is a senior. He's not supposed to go outside. So we do this decomposition just to get all of the ideas of the team. Everybody needs to contribute. So if we have, of course, they can't go to work. The solution one is have a staff house nearby. The second is bring work home, of course. Solution three, it's for you to think about. Then all documents checks are in the head office. So we could go for cloud-based documents. Sorry for the typo. We could also have electronic payments, just like what was mentioned with the Intuit, QuickBooks, and even for the approvals with the banks, you could already approve it electronically. The signatories, the bossings are at home. So we have the electronic approval. We have already systems with BPI and BDO, how to do it, especially for payrolls. Then, of course, we have, if you're still not enrolled, we still have manual logistics. You still have to transfer everything. No, not everything is a technology solution. We could still go for manual. So all of these things, we just combine these concepts like solution two can be combined with solution one and solution two, and with the signatories electronic approval to have a platform based, no, that combine everything. So this is just one of the examples in accounting. It's much fun when it comes to marketing or with other products, no. So now once you have that kind of solutions, you now have a list of features. No, you have now work at home. Now we have to think about how do we enable that. So we need internet and computer. So in some areas, there are some internet connections like with Globe or with Smart that is problematic. No, so we have to look for other providers, and we also have to provide them with computers. So we had to ship a lot of the computers. We had to buy a lot of laptops to enable our staff to work at home. The electronic payments, and when it comes to electronic approvals, we were coordinating with a lot of banks, with the BDO, with the Union Bank, and we had to enable one of the banks to authorize the transfer. And all of these ones, you can already monitor them through a cloud-based solution with, of course, QuickBooks. That's just one of the possible platforms that we could use. No? So in the end, the long-term solution for all of our businesses is to really go for a connectivity and to have a team that would always do problem solving whenever one process breaks down. Because we cannot really predict all of the big corporations. I've asked what is the BCP of one of the number one contractor in the Philippines. They said that we didn't have a very thorough BCP. The other one, a technology company with 2,000 people, they said, what is your PCP? And they said that it was outdated. We had to draft, we had to formulate the solutions from scratch. We had some idea, but we had to adopt like right now. And most people, most businesses, SMEs doesn't have the BCP. And if they had it, it's outdated. So the main task right now is to be able to communicate with everybody, our stakeholders, our staff, the boss, etc., to create solutions to how can we continue our business. And this framework we could also use to maybe think about our core businesses, our core products. Do we still stick with a physical product that is vulnerable to such pandemics? And as they say, this will be the last time we'll see something as bad as this one. So for all of these processes, we have just have some three main pointers. Number one is your intent of this process. Sometimes we have processes that is unnecessary. It's really a good time to really look back if we still need that process, no? It needs to have a clear intent. So for the accounting, we have an intent for the accounting of all expenses and for all the payments. It didn't say that we need to be in the office. We just need to do what is the intent. Of course, the second is connect human chain. There's a lot of tasks that needs to be done. So connect human chain has two mechanics. The first one is checks. From your supervisor needs to ask the supervisor, from the supervisor to your staff to check if he's doing the process well. The second one is ask for help. If that staff doesn't know what they're doing, he needs to be able to contact the supervisor and be able to coach on how to do the process. The last one, of course, is structured problem solving. We don't do shallow band-aid solutions. We need to do something that is more of long term. No? So this is the framework that we do to create business concepts and actually do specific new processes. And especially now, I would say a lot of our processes will be new. We would be pivoting from a lot of business units, and we'll see a lot of work from home in the future.
Thank you very much, Sir JC Martinez. And at this point, allow me to thank our advocacy partners, Go Negosyo, Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, AFI, Institute of Management Consultants of the Philippines, and 360 Next, and our our viewers who are tuned in from all over Metro Manila and all over the globe. And of course, our platform for today is being provided by Learn.com, where we present to you contents that matter. Finally, I'm going to present to you our third speaker for today. He's the co-founder of Learn.com and Tarky, and of course, Lipreneur. May we invite Sir Jerry Ilaw. Sir Jerry?
Hi, Sir Eric. Good morning. Yes. So thank you so much for your giving me this chance to share with you the strategies on how your businesses can cope with this quarantine economy. And again, I'm Jerry Ilaw. I'm the founder of OLearn and Tarky. So let me just show my presentation. Okay, sige. Yeah, and I think that this is better. Okay, so good morning, everyone. And yeah, again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share this presentation. So I'm the founder of OLearn and Tarky. OLearn is actually an e-learning platform for companies. And we've been fortunate and privileged to help PMA do this online forum. And Tarky actually is a digital transformation tool that you can use for your business. Now, what I'm going to share with you is the 5 strategies in this time of crisis. I know a lot of you have been, surprised and probably don't know what to do given the sudden crisis that we encountered. But please allow me to share the 5 strategies that you can do in this time of crisis. But before that, I always say that in this digital world, the company who masters product excellence plus technology will dominate the business world. Do you agree with that? It's not enough anymore that you have an excellent product. You have to marry it, you have to use technology in order to dominate the business world. And I think this is being highlighted more than ever given the crisis that we are in now. So, ano nga ba yung 5 key strategies that I want to share with you? Well, I coined it SAGIP. Ano yun? Sagip. I know a lot of you who are watching now, business owners and as well as employees, want to save your business. Tama ba? You want to save your business. So please allow me to share itong mga strategies na to on how you can continue despite the situation that we are in. So that's Sagip, okay? SAGIP. So what is the first one? The first one is safeguard your people. And when I talk about safeguarding people, it's not just physically safeguarding them, but as well as emotionally. Now, we always say that employees are our greatest assets, diba? Tama ba? And I think this is the best time to show that they are really are. Okay, so we need to safeguard our people emotionally, physically, make our presence felt, and assure them that we'll go through this together. In our case, once we had this enhanced quarantine, we had a simple call with our employees where we explained the situation that we are in and what's our BCP or what's our plan. So we said that we will do work from home. So our employees now are working from home. And then we created a Viber group, as simple as that, where we say, kumusta every day. Tapos we also had our organizational meeting yesterday via Zoom as well. So making yourselves visible and being felt by your employees is actually a long way in terms of boosting their morale in these times of crisis. So I think for business owners that are here, first thing that you need to do is to safeguard your people. Okay. And what are the technologies that you can use to safeguard your people? It's easy, actually. Most of these are free. So you have video conferencing tool like Zoom. Zoom is very popular nowadays. I saw this news na they gained 600,000 users in a day. So grabe. But this is a working tool. So you can use Zoom. And if you're in Google, G Suite, Albert mentioned this earlier, you can also use Google Hangout. So these are the 2 simple tools that we use to communicate with our employees and make sure na they feel that we are there for them. And also communication or collaboration tool, you can use Viber. As we've said, we created a Viber group for our company. And then kumusta lang, para at least they are not feeling alone because they're working from home, they are there on their own. Pero once we have this communication tool, they will feel better. So the second one is Slack. You can also use Slack. So these are the communication tool plus, of course, Gmail. So communication tool that you can use to safeguard your employees. Okay, so we talk about safeguarding your employees. The second one is about letter A, assessing the business impact. So after safeguarding your employees, you need to assess the impact in your organization. So do you have pending orders that you have to fulfill? How many inventory do you have? Do you need to do production, etc.? How can you get more customers given in this situation? And most importantly, financial statements. If you have been ignoring your financial statements in the past, maybe it's time to really drill down and analyze your financial statements because you need to lower down your operating expenses. You have, as you know, fixed and variable expenses. So as much as possible, you have to cut down your fixed expenses. For those of you who are renting in malls, there was a good news last week na winave ng mga ating mga landlords yung rent. So that's a good thing. What else can you cut in during this time so that you can preserve your cash? You know, there's an old saying na sinasabi, cash is king. And totoo yun ngayon. So you have to preserve your cash. And what are the tools that you can use for this business impact? If you have ERP solutions or enterprise resource planning solutions, so the most famous ones for malalaking companies would be SAP. You also have NetSuite. For accounting, you have QuickBooks, as mentioned by Alden, 750 pesos lang daw, yan, per month. Tapos in our company, we also use Xero. So that's where we use to record all our transactions, generate financial statements, etc. So pwede nyong gamitin yan. And also, there's a Serveu Small Business. This is actually a local company na nagpo-promote ng mga Filipino-made software. So they have solutions for payroll, they have solutions for POS, accounting, etc. So please check out Serveu Small Business. In these times of crisis and after this, I hope that our viewers will actually patronize Filipino-made products. Okay? Tayo-tayo lang naman yung magtutulungan. So I hope kung merong alternative na local company, you'll patronize that versus foreign companies. Now, field force automation, there's also Salesforce, which is very popular. And of course, our own tool, Tarki, which is we can digitize all your forms in the field. A lot of companies now are actually calling us because they still have operations pero nahihirapan sila mag-monitor, mag-manage ng field employees nila. So Tarki can help with that. File storage, I love this, Dropbox. So ginagamit ko yung Dropbox. Kaya I don't fear na itong computer ko mag-crash man siya, masira man siya, manakaw man siya, mawala man siya. Wala akong masyadong worry because I have all my files in Dropbox. So that is something that you can check out. And of course, if you are using Google, Google Drive is also a good one. Now, ito yung mga sample ng Tarki, time in, time out. Kung nahihirapan ka time in na kaya, online na kaya yung mga employees ko. So yes, you can use that Tarki. Tapos dito, we have electronic signatures. Ginawa namin kasi pinauwi namin yung mga laptop and we were not able to fill up the asset deployment form. So we created a form sa Tarki and then pinapirmahan namin para at least digitally, we have the assigned asset deployment form. And for those of you who are managing field employees, yan yung sample ng Tarki. You'll be able to monitor all of them, nasaan man sila ngayon. And also, you'll see the route na tinake nila, etc. So this is helpful for deliveries, for those people who are in operations now, who have a lot of field employees na gusto nyo manage sila better. You can use Tarki. So we've talked about safeguarding your employees, assess business impact. Letter G na tayo. So ano yung letter G? Letter G is about going online. And I think ito yung na-miss out ng marami sa atin. And I've been promoting e-commerce years ago. In fact, we've done a lot of trainings, trained thousands of entrepreneurs. This one is an Xscale Summit. It's the biggest e-commerce event in the Philippines. We hosted that together with my partners in SMX Mall of Asia. So we're supposed to do one in April, kaya lang because of COVID, we need to postpone it. But anyway, e-commerce, sinasabi nila pambata lang ba yan? Hindi naman, because this one is lolo. Actually, I was looking for a particular, anong tawag mo dito? Steel cable. So, pang hardware, steel cable. And I found this a listing during the time sa OLX. Tapos, etong nabumulaga sa orderless. So, they are selling things sa US, UK. Tapos, in 1 month, tingnan mo, $450,000, about close to 23 million pesos yan in 1 month. And guess kung ilan ang tao niya? Lima lang sila. Okay, lima lang. And they're able to produce this kind of sales. And ang binibenta nila, simple lang, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. So that is really possible when you go online. So ano yung mga tools na technology? You can use Shopify, WooCommerce, available po yan. Food delivery ngayon. Yon, Angkas is also there. So utilize those technologies. Tapos e-commerce platform, Lazada, Shopee, those are the more popular ones, but of course there are many more. So take advantage and bring your business online. Okay? So we talk about safeguarding your employees, assessing business impact, going online. And then the fourth one that I want to share is I. Ano kaya yung I? Okay? Any guess? Yung I is actually invest in relationship. You know, if you cannot sell online, or even if you can, di ba, you need to use this time to build relationship with your potential customers or even partners. In the past 2 weeks alone, I've talked to more people than I've talked in the past 3 months. Okay, because of this, we've been helping organizations do their e-commerce, online forums, etc. And I love it because yun, I'm trying reaching out to more organizations. I'm helping out mga entrepreneurs like you who need guidance in this time of crisis. So, yan, if you can do the same way, the same kumbaga, forums, etc. for your companies and potential partners. The technology that you can use, of course, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Gmail, and of course, you need to have your CRM or email marketing, toned down version of email market CRM, which is the email marketing. So you can use MailChimp, Active Campaign, so you can continue to communicate with your customers in this time of crisis. And chat, yan, normal yan. Okay? And then, so we talk about safeguarding, going online, invest in relationship, and the last one, andyan pa ba kayo? Ready ba kayo for the last one? So, ang last is actually P, which is prioritize learning. So, in these times of crisis, may mga employees tayo na wala masyadong ginagawa. So, let them learn and maximize this time. You can also use this to strategize your business. Okay? So, the technology that you can use, of course, nandito tayo, Facebook, YouTube, online courses, you can try Udemy, Coursera, and of course, if you want to build your own e-learning platform, that's where OLearn comes in. So we can create an online platform, an e-learning platform specific for your companies wherein you can track kung ano na bang mga courses tinake nila, ilan ang scores nila, etc. So that's exclusive for your company. So we can do that. We also have onboarding programs na for those of you kung na ayaw na mag-create ng onboarding program for your employees, we also have that. So these are the 5 strategies that I want to share with you. S is safeguard your employees. A is assess business impact. Then you go online, invest in relationship, and lastly, prioritize learning. So in short, sagip. Okay, these 5 strategies can help you save your business. So I hope na yan, i-take into consideration nyo yan. And I always say that technology is here to make things easier for us. So for those of you na natatakot na gamitin yung mga technologies na yan, don't. Okay, don't be afraid to use them because technology is here to make things easier for us. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for those who are watching. And if you want to get a copy of this slide, just go to www.olearn.com/sagip. Okay, olearn.com/sagip to get a copy of this presentation. So thank you once again.
There, thank you very much, Sir Jerry Ilao. Thank you very much, Sir JC and Sir Albert. At this point, allow me to say hi to our viewers. Our viewers from Rizal Technological University. Shout out to all of you. Faculty and students are watching. Then we have viewers from Santa Rosa, Laguna. We have people from the north. We have people from the south. Also, shout out to IPP Faye Tabanyo, PMA, Sir Edwin Mapanaw of Unibet, and Next Lideros of Net23. Now, we have some questions from our viewers. And allow me to, Jester, can you put Jen Matundig? Jen asks, how safe is it uploading to the cloud? So probably if any one of our speakers can answer that, probably si Jen is still new into getting really into the cloud. So andun yung hesitation ni Jen, no? So ang tanong niya, safe ba talaga yung ulap? So anyone, gentlemen?
Well, I could answer it kasi meron kasing another topic for cybersecurity. Pero when we're talking about specific platforms like yung sa mga ERP, etc., there's different levels of authorization that meron dapat confirmation through text, etc. when it comes to enabling the transaction. Pero for cloud-based storages, doon nagkakaroon ng risk kasi people are tempted to just to dump all of the documents in a Google Drive. But sa mga Google Drive, you need to at least learn how to do the privacy of each of these files, no? And how to really disguise it and may security level na hindi madaling i-access ng kung sino-sino lang. Pero yes, there's always a risk of hacking. So it's a cybersecurity, so mayroong level of access security and also encryption. Kaya pagdating sa mga very sensitive documents like sa medical field, there's always a agency to do the cybersecurity. Pero lahat tayo meron ng data privacy, we have to abide na meron tayo dapat data security officer.
Okay. Anything you want to add, Sir Albert or Sir Jerry, to that?
Yeah, hi. What I wanted to add is in anything that we do, there will always be a risk. The key there is to how to reduce it. Because even if you don't do online naman, your files can also be burned, they can also be stolen, they can also get lost, right? If you don't go to the cloud. So in anything that we do, there will always be the risk. And the question to the leaders is how do we mitigate it and risk and reduce the risk? So Sir JC already pointed out the things you can do to reduce the risk of getting hacked. It cannot be avoided, but it can be prevented.
Okay. Sir Albert, follow-up question for you, Sir Albert. How will the government and the private sector, specifically probably the technology providers, be able to make themselves adjust to the sudden surge of technology needs by our fellow men just because everybody's almost online today? So baka nagulat din yung nagulat din yung ICT at saka yung community ng mga providers. So ano kaya pwede nating ma-advise sa kanila?
Yeah, so actually, from a provider standpoint, I don't think that there will be a lack of bandwidth because my wife and I would go to the office to work, right? And we could stream a different bandwidth versus the house bandwidth. I think the even harder question is our households ready for the increased bandwidth? Because in a total macro perspective, nag-net out siya wala yung office, wala yung school, tapos lahat lumipat ng bahay, so dapat nag-net even lang siya. What I know a lot of my friends are struggling is they are on a very small bandwidth. So kung yung dati, ang consumption nila is, let's say, 1 gigabyte per day, now their consumption, because everyone's at home, is 2 gigabyte. But then their plan is only meant for 1 gigabyte. So I think that is something that people need to rethink about how they are spending their money. No? So again, to your question, Sir Eric, I don't think the network providers has an issue of the sudden demand for internet bandwidth at home. The real struggle, I think, is that the home now does not have enough bandwidth for everybody. They're not on the right plan. Their plan is that they got
Yes.
1,000 per month, but actually, ang kailangan nila ngayon with everyone at home is a 3,000 per month plan. So I think that's even the harder question. No? So so I hope that I think now people are thinking, where do I put my money?
I totally agree with you, Sir Albert, because right now, as we speak, there are four of us using the same bandwidth, and this never happened before because the rest of my family and I are out of the home, and we're working in our now everyone is our home's been actually a co-working space right now. Okay, Sir Jerry, I'd like to give this question to you. So, for most of the SMEs who are just going to, you said kanina, go online, diba? And probably some of the entrepreneurs are seeing BCP and technology or online as a stopgap today. So, ito bang going online? Do you recommend this as moving forward na talaga kahit wala ng COVID? Tuloy-tuloy na ba to? Ano bang ating suggestion sa ating mga SMEs?
Okay, thank you, Sir Eric, for that question. I think that going online or e-commerce is not going anywhere, even after this COVID-19. So it will stay. In fact, a lot of when you look at the data, the usage of e-commerce now is really booming, di ba? When you talk, may mga data sa Lazada, etc. Sobrang dami ng tao ang gumagamit ng e-commerce. So it's here to stay. It will keep on growing. So I think for those of you na hindi pa nagtitake advantage ng e-commerce, you need to. Okay, before it's too late for your brand to go online. So just make sure na itong mga tools na to madali naman silang gamitin. Okay? So you need to go online, do your e-commerce thing, but I'm not saying na totally itanggalin mo na yung brick and mortar na business mo, etc. Just let them run simultaneously, and then whenever the time comes na medyo hindi na profitable yung brick and mortar business, then at least naka-transition ka na online, because these things transitioning to an online platform e-commerce hindi naman siya ganon kabilis. Okay, so take advantage while it's not too late.
All right, thank you, Sir Jerry. Sir JC, this is for you. Here's a question. Since technology evolves quickly and continuously, how often should business continuity plans change? So, ito ba, is this a matter of X number of period of years lang? Then they need to change it? How do they get to,
Well,
kumbaga,
the
calibrate their BCPs?
the classical way naman kasi is you create different scenarios. Sa BCP naman, we have different scenarios on what you're going to do. Usually, it's going to be on a yearly basis if they're really into the full BSP. Pero yung for us naman kasi is that we need to have this kind of a format or system that actually always creates solutions when it comes to having problems and with any other situation. So when it comes to the BCP, yes, it's going to be on a yearly basis because the acceleration in technology natin is very fast. There's very tweaking na lang din eh. The people needs to know how to tweak the BCP. It's kind of like one of the BCP that we saw is more like may fax pa siya. And it wasn't considered na wala na pa ng fax, no? And sarado na yung buong office. And a lot of the BCP is all about nasunog yung warehouse mo, nasunog yung office, but not to this kind of extent. So nung wala na silang guide or plano, doon na nagkaroon ng kalabuan. So maganda rin is that you have integrated into your system, into your process, how to actually create solutions. That's how we deal with this one. Kasi wala talaga makakapag-expect to the
Yeah.
extent.
Thank you, Sir JC. Sir Albert, this is for you. If the government, specifically the ICT department, would be listening to us today, what would you advise in terms of digital probably solutions that would help MSMEs, really to go through this quarantine economy and even after COVID-19 has passed? Ano na yung pwedeng gawin ng government para maging ano na ito, kumbaga long lasting for smaller entrepreneurs? I know bigger companies already have BCPs, but for some it might be the first time they're hearing it today in our forum.
Yeah. Well, my very first advice is to make sure that we are digitizing our data all the way from recording it. So right now, you go to a government institution. I was processing our company business permit, and it's really very manual. It's written down long paper on lots of paper to be printed out, and then you sign it. So I hope that the DICT and the government can really look into how do we digitize encoding the data, storing the data, and then accessing the data, right? And it all starts from data because the moment we have data, we can now interconnect things. We can read the data. We can read the habits. We can read what's happening. And that is a big milestone just by digitizing our data, recording, data storage, data access. Versus today, it's very paper. And even as simple as I went to the city of Taguig. And in that city of Taguig, the same one city, five departments, they all require the same document. And because they were different departments, I had to submit and print out the same document in the same city hall across the five departments. So it's very inefficient. It's very unproductive. And not to mention, it's not smart to doing it because when they submit the files, and I can see that when we file it, it's by day rather than it's by company. So I know that also the current manual storage today is not very good. Um, and some even have like misfiled things. So you can really a lot of things are lost today in terms of our data. No? So my first advice again to that question is first digitize the data because once you have the data, you can make decisions faster. Also, it can be more productive for everybody. And in my case, in the city hall of the gig, five departments, I printed out the same document for five departments. And when I saw how they were storing it, it was very bad because it was by day, one folder. So I guess if I need my file, it will take me months because of the way they're doing things.
Thank you, Sir Albert. Now I'm seeing some questions from our viewers from Jerry Lontok. Chester, can we put that back from Jerry Lontok? What percent of the business budget should be allocated to technology, especially during these trying times? I know a lot of companies are replanning, re-strategizing, and rewriting their numbers, but with the realization of the need to go digital and the need to go online. Uh, Anyone, gentlemen? Ano tingin nyo? Ilang percent ba ng budget dapat magta-transfer ito
Um,
from other departments?
Yeah, I came from the big corporations where I saw that there's actually a budget for it. First is in terms of enabling its employees, nag-budget siya ng mga 20 to 30% depending on the person. Right? So imagine the salary of a person, let's say for simplification, 20,000.
Mm.
In that former company, we can spend as high of 4,000 pesos just to enable that employee with technology, may it be a phone plan, may it
Mm-mm.
be a mobile device, or and so on and so forth. So really look into it. It's not technology you're buying, but the intent, as what Sir JC is saying, the intent is to enable the employee. The intent is mobility, so fund it well. The intent is people can talk to each other even if they are far away from each other and are accessing it remotely. That's the intent, right? So that's what I would say. From a percentage standpoint, I've given you 20 to 30% of the salary. Always think about that. You have an accountant. How much do you pay an accountant? 30,000, right?
Mm.
So therefore, enable the accountant. So in my sense, I have an accountant, and then I give her a software. So give it is not even the right percentage of 20%. So think about it as what Sir Jesus says is intent. From my experience in the corporate world, it's 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
20 to
I'd, I'd,
30%.
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
like to
Sir
add
Jerry?
as well, yeah, for that. For the viewers, don't just implement technology because you want to. So I think before that, you need to see which part of your processes can really use technology and which will have the biggest impact. Kasi ngayon na kulang yung pera natin, di ba? We allocate it to where it will yield the most, give us more return on investment. So that's the first thing. And the good news to our viewers is SaaS or software as a service is very popular now. So unlike years before, wherein if you implement a technology, kailangan mong million na investment upfront before you can implement that. Now, software as a service, rather, on the contrary, ano siya, wala siyang masyado or free actually na upfront investment. You just pay as you go, which is a good thing, di ba? Because if it doesn't work, you cut it. Tapos, Shopify, for example, I mentioned Shopify. You can use it to launch your e-commerce website. It's just $14 per month. So about siguro 750. If it doesn't work, cut it. What is 750 pesos? Diba? So you don't need truckloads of money to implement technology. Given the software, there are a lot of software as a service that we can use now.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to add, Ren,
Yeah, Sir
that
JC, yes.
when you're looking for the features of this new technology, we try to quantify what would be the effect or benefits for customers and your operations. No? So once you have, kasi let's say this new technology would cut your labor time by 30% or increase your capacity faster na, then you could calculate that for your return of investment on your shift to that technology. Kung hindi pa siya sizable, maybe could go for something else. Marami namang sa process that you can always improve on.
Great. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Before that, shout out to Pure Gelato owner, Richie Kuna. Thank you very much for watching. One more question. Last na lang siguro. No? Jester, can you put from Mr. Pep Serrano? Because Pep Serrano's business is into service, so may question siya. Uh, can we look at that, Jester?
Hmm.
Okay. Sabi ni Mr. Pep Serrano, speaking of going online, if you're a company who offers services like promotions to other businesses, how will you maximize your company website given the situation today? Okay. Sino po? Anybody can answer it? So, ang negosyo ni Mr. Serrano po is promotions, services. So,
Yeah.
probably marketing solution siguro siya.
Yeah. And I think yung sa letter I ko sa sagip is invest in relationship. So if you cannot sell your services now, maganda kung pwede mong ibenta. So para at least may papasok. Pero if not, you can invest in relationship now. And that means yung website mo, you can use that to promote, to keep in touch with your customers, diba? Give helpful tips, build relationship. And at the same time, don't forget to capture the contact details like emails, etc. I mentioned kanina about MailChimp, which is a very popular email marketing software and also active campaign. So you can use that to capture emails para at least you can get in touch with them when you need to. Ang mahirap kasi like itong Facebook, yung mga nanonood, pag alis dito, mahirap na silang makausap. But if you have their contact details like email, you can send out helpful tips to them. You can still communicate even after the show. So yun siguro yun on my end.
Yep. Okay. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, to our viewers, allow me to just summarize what we've discussed. No, sayang, no, ang bilis ng oras natin. It's countdown to 03 already. So earlier, our first speaker, Sir Albert, mentioned about the history of technology going towards the fourth and fifth revolution. And nagustuhan ko yung sinabi mo, Sir Albert, favorite ko si Iron Man, di ba? So the technology that we saw in that movie are actually present today. And you mentioned also that the cost for your company to have solutions like, sa QuickBooks, it's 750 per month per user. So imbis na mag-hire ako ng maraming tao sa department ng accounting, malaking tulong yung QuickBooks. Google platform where you can meet your stakeholders at 150 pesos per user. So hindi siya ganun kamahal talaga, no? So yung iba talaga takot siguro. So ngayon lang natin naintindihan na ganun kadali at kamura siya. So Sir JC on the second hand said communicate with your team, no? And provide tools to employees for them to be able to use technology. Like he said earlier, they were actually providing the best computers to their teams. So when they work, hindi masyadong maraming difficulty, no? And look at the intent of your process, specific new processes, and structured problems to solving concerns at the workplace. While Sir Jerry, on the other hand, gave us a five-letter framework called SAGIP. S is safeguard your people. A is assess business impact. G is going online, and I invest in relationship, and P prioritize learning. Okay, so gentlemen, we don't have too much time. I'll allow each and every one of you to make your final statement, starting from Sir Albert, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So it's been, I actually also learned a lot from JC and Jerry. Um, and my last advice, if there's something I want you to remember, is that really technology is there as an enabler. Don't get intimidated by it. Don't fear it. It's something that you just really have to learn how to use it. And that's what, and more importantly, it's not expensive. That's what Sir Jerry said. There's a lot of software as a service now, and you can easily cut it if you don't need it and activate it if you need it. Not to mention, it's also very cheap now and affordable. Something that wasn't there before. Before technology was expensive, now it's very affordable.
Thank you, Sir Albert. How about you, Sir JC? Parting words.
Yes, kasi nakikita ko sa mga private shop, no, there's a lot of questions that a lot of the businesses are closed, no. What we could do for not just for business continuity, if you want to pivot, is do it as a problem solving that we're trying to solve the problems of our customers and using your current resources. Now we could pretty much put into features then into specs what can we do right now to create a new business that still uses your core infrastructure?
All right. So you don't necessarily have to spend too much on the new infrastructure and tools. Sir Jerry, your final message to the viewers, please.
Yeah, so don't forget the sagip, okay? That will help you with your business. And then always say na in this time and age, if you don't make your business obsolete, somebody else will. Okay, so you have to
Yes.
constantly reinvent. You have to make yourself obsolete and improve as every day. Otherwise, your competitor will do it for you, and then you'll be gone. Okay, so if you don't make your business obsolete, somebody else will.
Yes, thank you very much, Sir Jerry. Again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of virtual applause to our three gentlemen speakers, Sir Albert Budegim, Mr. JC Martinez, and Sir Jerry Ilao. At this point, allow me to thank our advocacy partners, Go Negosyo, Department of Trade and Industry, AFI, Infill, and 360 Next, and olearn.com, where we present to you content that matters. Again, please stay tuned to the PMA website and PMA Facebook for the next schedules of our PMA online forum. So I'd like to thank all the marketers who are watching us. And remember, tough times never last. Only tough people do. So this has been your host and moderator, Erica Egg, saying thank you for now. Good morning or good afternoon, rather. We'll see you again on the next forum. Thank you, and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Stay at home. God protect us. Thank you very much.